Hi everybody, this is the Football Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Football Hut. As you know that this whole thing with Saquon Barkley got me thinking about all these different running backs that did not get picked up, did not sign contracts with their teams. And I thought that was kind of an interesting topic. But before we get into this topic, of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut and let me know what you think about it. The Ringer.com had some interesting thoughts. The NFL's running back market has bottomed out. Running backs had already lost a positional value war when Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs didn't get new deals. The NFL's best ball carriers realized it. Duh. It's not often that a star athlete says he's so frustrated with his sport that maybe his entire job shouldn't exist. That's where the NFL found itself when Tennessee Titans running back Derrick Henry seemingly so dismayed by the news that the league's three franchise-tagged running backs, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard, all failed to get long-term contracts before Monday's deadline, tweeted his frustrations about running back value. Quote, "At this point, just take the running back position out of the game then," Henry wrote, responding to a tweet from Matt Miller, an ESPN draft analyst who detailed the draft and replace process that seems to be underway across the NFL. Quote, "The ones that want to be great and work as hard as they can to give their all to an organization just seems like it don't even matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm with every running back that's fighting to get what they deserve." They don't understand the whole market value. If the market isn't there, what are you going to do? Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, who led the NFL in rushing 21 and is now into the last year of his rookie contract, also chimed in that. One, if you're good enough, they'll find you. Two, if you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, three, you boost the organization. Then, it doesn't matter. You're a running back. And so did the Chargers' Austin Eckler, who was so unhappy with his contract that he repeatedly requested a trade earlier this year. They act like we're discardable widgets. Well, you're not, durable anymore. And then there's the 49ers' Christian McCaffrey, one of only a handful of star running backs to sign a big contract in the last 3 years, who called it criminal that Barkley, Jacobs, and Pollard didn't get new deals on Monday. They have contracts. Just accept the tag. Now here's the thing that can happen with these guys. If they all accept the tag, those teams, in particular the Giants, could re-tag him for next season and then trade him. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants did that, considering the kind of comments that have been coming out about Barkley in particular. The running back market has been crashing for years. When it bottomed out on Monday, you could sense players finally beginning to grieve. While it's normal for Henry to say he will fight for what running backs deserve, it's also sad to think about how unwinnable that fight will be. Whether these individual players are deserving has nothing to do with it. This has been a brutal year for the position. This offseason, Dallas cut star running back Ezekiel Elliott. The Vikings did the same with Dalvin Cook. Tampa Bay released Leonard Fournette, and the Browns declined to re-sign Kareem Hunt. Cincinnati's Joe Mixon took a significant pay cut to avoid joining them in the free agent pool. Green Bay's Aaron Jones also took a $5 million pay reduction. The Titans reportedly made Henry available for trade in spring, but had no takers for a player who had more than 1,900 yards from scrimmage last year. And then there was no trademark for Eckler, despite having a dozen more touchdowns than any skilled position player in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. Eckler stayed in L.A. and settled for some extra contract incentives. But Monday was another dismal day for running backs everywhere who had been holding out hope that Barkley, who was 26 and the Giants' best offensive player, or Jacobs, who was 25 and led the NFL in rushing last season, would be able to land lucrative new deals that could move the running back market forward. Pollard, 26, doesn't have a resume to match Barkley or Jacobs, but he's in line to be the Cowboys' starting running back now that Elliott is gone. Now, the thing about Barkley in particular, Barkley has had injuries over the last few years, and this is a big reason why the market for these running backs isn't very strong. Nobody's going to sign you to a long-term deal with big money knowing that you're going to be injured because of all the pounding you take at the line of scrimmage. You know, I mean, you're taking every hit in the middle of the field. It's not like you're like a wide receiver, you know. And a lot of times, these running backs are not the biggest players on the field. They're usually the smallest players on the field, aside from the kicker or the punter. So these guys take a pounding, and they're not nearly as big as these linebackers, and they're not nearly as big as these defensive linemen. So you're asking a lot, you know, for the team to take that risk with the known that you're going to get hurt. I mean, you know that these guys are going to get hurt. And this is even before they make any kind of like get away from the line of scrimmage and break away a lot of times. You know, you're talking about a lot of yardage, and the body can only take so much, and the pounding that they take from these linemen, the pound they take from these defensemen, these defensive backs, and these linebackers. It's very difficult to stay healthy on a long-term contract. That's why a lot of these guys are done after 4 years. I know that's probably the average. And Barkley is one of these guys that's been injured. And he's been injured for a few years. You know. And I would mention also that the second half of the Giants season was not as strong as the first half because Barkley was run down. He wore down during the season. And that the Giants saw this. If you were a fan, you watched the games, you saw this. I mean, they had a very good, strong first half, and then they had the bye, and then the last month and a half was a real grind. You know, it went 2-7 or 2-5 or whatever it was in the second half. After the bye, it's very, very tough. You know, being a running back is tough business, especially on the body. Well, you see why the teams don't want to take that risk. They don't want to, in terms of the injuries. There's already a lot of injuries in the NFL to begin with. But you're talking about a player that takes all the hits. He can't succeed unless he takes a hit. So, you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.